Welcome to Live Q&A. I'm Jonathan Griffiths. We'll cover elite nutrition, training, and breath work. Build your best physique with Carnivore Muscle.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So today is a live Q&A of myself about carnivore diet, bodybuilding, recovery, all things biohacking, and a little bit of extra stuff if you're feeling lucky today. So thank you very much for joining. We're going to be going through the comments today and answering any of your live Q&A questions that you may have. You may notice the new screen layout, just to be a bit more professional and stuff. I've got big news coming up on Thursday, which you'll be able to keep an eye on my channel and you'll see what that is very shortly. I'm going to get straight to the questions now. So we've got one from the lovely Joe, from Joe's Sleep and Slim Down Journey. So looking forward to watching the replay. She's currently working right now, I imagine. Sending all my love to you and those watching for a wonderful week. That's a good start, isn't it? 1 minute in, we've already got a nice comment. Thank you. So she's actually got the first question in today. So I've really made gains through your coaching. Could you explain to people why a personalized approach makes such a difference to our health goals? That's a good question. I think a personalized approach is useful because not only does it impact the individual person by virtue of what it's called, personalized, but it allows you to make changes that you wouldn't otherwise spot yourself, so you get to your end result quicker. Now, a lot of people in our space at this point in time are doing, keto measuring, Dr. Boz ratios, sardine fasts. They're just looking for the next tool. They're seeing this more as like a challenge rather than just a way of life, and I appreciate the value in having a challenge. Like my challenge might be, I don't know, stay in good shape until my next contest in October. It's hard, but it means when I diet down, it's a lot more efficient to get into shape. So that's a useful challenge. There's less useful challenges in that they just yield short-term results. Whenever you impact the mass of food that you take in, so a fast, sardine fast, you're worried about eating lots of butter but not much meat, you impact the level of residue that's in your gut. So all these challenges that people are doing right now are actually probably long-term not very helpful, but they give you a wider tool set, I'll say that much, in terms of, X equals Y and Y equals Z. But what I can say is, logically, and from what I see anecdotally, people that receive the best results on a carnivore diet are people that find a program, a protocol, and approach, stick to it long-term, and that's how they get the results that they're after. So how would you find that? Well, it's going to be a lot more difficult if you've not got the experience. So I'm actually a 6.5-year carnivore, first professional carnivore bodybuilder ever. And also, not only this, I've got a degree in human nutrition, coached hundreds of clients. I've got heaps of anecdotes on my website. You go to carnivore-muscle.com. And 99% of the information I put out there, guys, is to help you. And it's free of charge. 99% of what I have in terms of content is not guarded. It's not in a secret treasure chest. It's out there on YouTube. It's on the playlist, so I suggest you check them out. And if you want something more than that, i.e., hi, my name's Paul from, I don't know, Arctic Circle, and if there's a Paul out there, I don't know, and I want to lose 20 pounds, I've got 6 weeks to do it in. Well, I don't know if you can do that. If you're 5 pounds away from your goal weight, then it's not going to happen, is it? So it's important to have context, and that's where a coach can come in who's worked with like-minded people, perhaps like yourself that are watching now, to give you quicker results based on experience. Most people may argue that everyone's a bit individual. I agree. The biology of the human being is 99% plus identical. So provided everyone was in the same environment and terrain, perhaps the same sex, that makes a difference, the same, I don't know, age, then same sort of output, same sort of input, then yeah, they're going to get identical results. Just the expression of that result might be a bit different in terms of where their start point is based on their terrain or their environment. So a nuanced approach is very, very important. When it comes to health goals as well, you've got to work with someone who is medically trained like myself. I do have a diploma in medical sciences, so despite what people may think, yes, I'm a meathead bodybuilder, I like to go to the gym, but I'm also more trained than 99.9% of the carnivore coaches out there, and just by that certification alone. So I am experienced in working with people with lots of different health issues. And my nutrition degree that I got in university, do you think that only covered men? Would you think I spent half the time covering women when I had to create diet plans, when I had to look at certain nutritional values, when I had to create different food products for people, things like that, marketing? Is men and women. I was working with men and women. And that's reflected upon my sort of current roster, which is, I'd say, something like maybe 60, 70% men, 30% females. So I do work with both men and women. But hopefully that's answered your question, Joe. If not, I'll be happy to sort of go in more detail in another live Q&A session. We've been joined today with a lovely feral grandma, Wendy. Hello, Grandma. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you being here. Hopefully you're doing well. So good morning. Great time of day, working but don't want to miss. Wondering if you caught Dr. Kilt's this morning guest discussing autism. I haven't caught that yet, but I put it on Notify. And I did comment in the live chat just beforehand, so I tend to, if I have a question for someone, I'll put it in live chat before the stream actually starts to make sure it gets right to the top, which I suggest you guys do as well. Get all your questions in earlier rather than later. I'm going to check that one out after this video, actually, because it is my to-do list. So thank you for letting me know, Juliet, and hopefully you're doing well. And hopefully, I know you're probably listening in now for your headphones at work or something, but yeah, I do appreciate you being here. And Juliet has said good morning to Joe. Excellent. All very nice in this house. All very friendly. So I need Jonathan more than ever as a paying client. I see my orthopedic specialist tomorrow, following up to surgery. Hope to find out when I can do even very lightweight training. I eat strict carnivore, but it's when you say I eat fruit and honey and salad. Doubt it. Probably coffee. Yeah, do drink coffee and double cream. There we go. If Jonathan says dump it, stop, I'll just do it. Seeking increased strength, muscle, for bone health, that's my goal. Otherwise, no other issues, no explains meds. If I'm completely honest, and there's two reasons why I'd perhaps not suggest someone having coffee in their post-operative phase. They're small reasons, they're not game changers. If you don't follow this advice, this suggested information, it's not going to break the bank. But if we're talking about optimizing recovery, and there's been evidence to show that nicotine can impact negatively bone growth. Caffeine. It can give your body a sense of wakefulness. Perhaps you're not meant to be wakeful, so it can give you fake energy, which makes you think that you can, lift a weight or move a certain way. And the reality is your body's trying to give you a signal to rest and calm down. So too much coffee, too much caffeine by default could be a problem in that sense. It can mask your symptoms if you're trying to recover and escalate your training status. Outside of that, I mean, the cream itself, it's part of your diet. I don't see it being a problem unless you eat too much and it makes you overweight. But, yeah, if you're going to be idle, just be mindful that your dietary intake should match your recovery status. So if you're recovering, you're probably going to need more protein. Would you need more fat? Probably not, because you're not as active, I'd imagine, if you're going through any sort of post-operative injury or surgery of some kind in some way. Outside of that, I mean, I'll be looking at coffee as some kind of a negative chelator of minerals. That might be it reduces the uptake of magnesium in the gut, or certain B vitamins maybe. Too much caffeine can do that, it makes you sweat more. It can throw off your hunger signals, as in you might not be as hungry, but you may be really hungry. So these kind of things are minor sort of things, but nuanced things. So if I don't highlight them, I'm not doing my job. I'm not serving you best practice. So that's personally what I'd be doing. If I was really mindful of the recovery, and I've had bad surgeries myself, as we all know, then yeah, I'm a lot more on it than most people. But my approach is a lot more nuanced than most people, so I don't expect you to be so diligent in that regard. But yeah, great question. Yeah, great to hear you're not on any pain meds as well, anything like that. We've got George here. Good afternoon, George. Thank you for joining. Much appreciated. Glad you're here. We've got Donna Ray from Bacon Runner. Great channel. Recommend following her. She does a lot of fitness stuff, for instance, that sort of thing. You watch my channel. Lovely lady. Great asset to our community. Very inspirational. Also an athlete, which is brilliant. Good afternoon all. Thank you for joining. Appreciate that. If you've got any questions, guys, leave them in the chat. Hello from Caroline. Hello. Nice to speak to you again. Say hello. I am carnivore, currently strength trained, but would like to get back into bodybuilding. not to competition level. Oh no, you don't just decide that, guys. It's not just a thing like, I don't want to be too big. No, it'll happen if it happens. You force it to happen. It doesn't just happen. Second part of the question: what's the best way to combine strength from bodybuilding? Thank you. Bodybuilding by virtue is a form of strength, and vice versa. You tend to get stronger as you bodybuild. I'm not sure on the question here. Because to bodybuild you have to do strength training. It's an absolute requirement. It's not a if or no or maybe. If you could reword your question, I'd be happy to answer it, but I currently can't understand it. Do you ever have a carb day when you eat more than, let's say, 100 to 200 grams of carbs per day? Very rarely nowadays. If I do, it'll be in the off-season setting when I'm not in pre-contest phase. And with that being said, it'll be whole foods for the most part. The most processed thing I'll probably eat will be like mashed potatoes with butter in it. So I quite like a Sunday roasting of my family every 3 or 4 weeks when I'm in a mass gaining phase. That's about as much as it goes. So yeah, that's below 200 grams of carbs a day. I'd probably fall between 100 and 150 every 3 to 4 weeks for one meal. You know, it's not a great deal. What's the best way to combine strength training and bodybuilding? Thank you. You've asked the same question twice now. I don't know how to answer that. Question: eating windows around training. Once I'm not working, I will wake up at 8 and go to the gym at 9:30 for weight training. Okay. Caffeine good info. I'll get off it for recovery. Yeah, just be mindful of, if you're someone that has addictive tendencies, you may or may not be, and you go straight off caffeine and coffee, you might be putting yourself in a disservice. Because if you have something that is part of your ritual for the day, you feel good, all of a sudden you don't have coffee, you're twiddling your thumbs, you might reach out to other foods or drinks. You might look for other sort of pleasure-seeking behaviours and dopamine-driving behaviours. So just be mindful of that. Just want to make sure I give you a whole picture. So I'm sort of throwing quite a bit of information at you, but you know, what is going to serve you best at the end of the day. So it's better to have all the information and make your own informed decision, because you are obviously a very educated lady yourself, being a coach in the space. So much appreciated for your question. Yes, and don't forget to like, please, guys. The funny thing is about my channel, this sounds really arrogant, and I know I say that nearly every video. I make some of the most informative content in the carnivore space online. That's some of, quote, some of, not the most. And I get the least amount of comments and likes on my videos, simply by virtue of being me. Then people will meet me in person and say, oh, you know, you're a nice guy, sort of thing, very friendly and helpful. And I'm like, yeah, when have I sort of said otherwise? You might not like my white tongue at the moment, but I've been chewing way too much gum. Habit thing I do when I've got a lot of pain going on at the moment. So, yeah, I'm not sleeping much at the moment, guys. I'm on about 3 or 4 hours sleep. Not much fun. So I'm trying to find ways just to relax my mind so my body will relax, sort of thing. So it's a multi-faceted attempt here. 10 joules. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Definitely helps Bella go. Yeah. Number of reps and working to failure, or just comfort? Comfort is a con. Comfort is the people that look the same every time they go to the gym. You should always train with the intent of improving your strength metrics, whilst also systematically at the same time improving your recovery metrics. So as you get stronger, your body is under more load, more diminishing returns. The level of intensity that you need will get greater over time, because training is a skill. So you lift a weight once versus 1,000 times. The guys lifted it 1,000 times, even it being the same weight, will probably have a better mind-muscle connection, more muscle fiber activation, more muscle fiber breakdown, more recovery capacity that's needed. So make sure you bring up your recovery. So that means be mindful about sleep, eating enough protein, stuff like that, making sure your body's in a building state. Then also making sure that your training matches that. Your training should never exceed it. Your training should never be, oh, I'm wiped from this week of training. It's not always hard to get right. I mean, I myself have to sort of reduce the weight a bit and just do more time and tension, but still hit technical muscular failure when at the gym. That's how I know I still improve, but I might put my joints under less strain. So think of it as like a balancing act all the time. You got intensity, you got recovery. You can say the hard bit in the gym, however you measure that, and the easy bit, which is outside the gym. Make sure you're doing a bit of both, basically. But in terms of like reps and sets, I could not tell you about consultation at all, even remotely, because I know people that have done 10 times more than me in the gym, and they look great. And there's me, pro card bodybuilder, also looks pretty decent. So, Rick, how's it going? Nice to see you here. Thank you very much for joining. Appreciate you being here. Hopefully this is informative to you. Rick, ask a question that's related to this podcast channel thing. You can. Rick and Milton have joined. So Milton is Rick's cat. Sorry, Jonathan. So with strength training, it is less reps, higher weight, and longer recovery between sets. With bodybuilding, lower weight and greater number of reps. Hope this makes sense. I see what you're saying. No, ignore reps altogether, Caroline. Don't ever think about reps, repetitions, ever again. But what do you do? What is the default? Like I mentioned in the previous kind of segment about time and tension. So when you train, you can be sure that 100 seconds of lifting, push-ups, whatever it is, push-ups or pull downs, whatever, is 100 seconds. And if I said do 10 reps, that 10 reps could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, or it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, So you're not keeping an accurate way of measuring. So forget reps altogether. You should, everyone, it's applicable to everyone out there, unless your goal is to be a footballer kicking a ball against a wall or something, or trying to score a goal. You need to obviously count how many goals you've got. You can't count how many seconds it takes you to run up to the line. So in that kind of regard, count reps, use your phone, stop watching your phone, put it in front of you, something on the floor when you're training. Then what you'll make sure you're doing is starting it, then lifting it with control. I'd suggest anywhere between 5 and 10 seconds, or maybe even 4 and 10 seconds is good in either direction. If it's 4 up, 4 down. Make sure you're training with an active range of motion. So if your goal is to build absolute strength through the joints, yes, use full range of motion. If you're more focused on building muscle, protecting your joints maybe, so you're not giving it that overburden, which case you might not lock out, or you might go within a certain part of the range. So rather than doing 100% of the repetition, the range of motion, maybe do 80, 90%. So you're still doing the rep, but you're alleviating pressure through the joints, where it might be, shoulder press might be up here. That's going straight from my shoulder, that's going to hurt. So I actually have my arm straight up, or I actually have it right here when I'm actually training. Because I don't want strain through the elbow and the shoulder joint. I want it through the muscle because I'm a bodybuilder. That's how it might differ in terms of nuance. A sample sort of program I write out for a lot of people, if they just want something free that is just generic as hell. Full body workouts, 3 times per week. Each body part will have, I'd probably say 2 sets per body part per session. So 2 for chest, 2 for shoulders, 2 for back, 2 for hamstrings, 2 for quads, 2 for calves, 2 for biceps, 2 for triceps, and 2 for abs. What we end up doing there by default is probably doing something like, 40 total sets a week. And as you scale up the intensity, so you get better, more efficient at activating muscle fibers, you can train harder. Then it might go down to 35, then it might go down to 30, then by that point you're looking at refining things more. So if you've got massive thighs and no upper body, you might do 1 lower body session per week, but then do 2 upper body sessions per week. So you manipulate things that way, and there's no rules in bodybuilding. You can do a program eventually, which is like mine, which is a bit like lower body pull, like back and biceps and triceps, then push, which is chest, shoulders, triceps, at the end of the week. So I do like 3 sessions per week. It's more refined, but the intensity that I put for my body in each session is greater, which means I need a longer period of time to actually recover from each set and each workout. So, as you get more efficient, you train harder. As you train harder, you need more recovery. There is always a bottleneck. You can't just sleep more. So you have to, by default, put a cap on how much you do each week. And takes time to find that, but that's probably my suggestion there. Yeah, I'd definitely book in for a consultation if you wanted something more refined. I do email consults as well, guys, and also do custom training plans as well, all affordable on my site. And they'll cost you, well, put it this way, a custom plan that takes me an hour and a half to write will be 3 times cheaper than your average consultation with a carnivore coach online. Think about it. Stop wasting your money. Get involved with people that know what they do. Yeah, anyway, just so everyone does know, if you're a member of my channel, you have access to a series of audiobooks and lots of shorts and useful training clips and videos, which are, in my opinion, very helpful to people. So I'd definitely recommend joining that. There's a join button below the video. It says join channel as a member. It's like $2 or something stupid. It's not a lot per month. Also, hit subscribe if you have not yet already. A lot of content coming up on my channel. A lot of novel stuff, which hopefully helps people out. Joe sent me some coins. I'm getting rich now, guys. These are all worth about half a penny each. I appreciate that. I'll take them all. Give me all the jewels. All right, Caroline. Yes. Yes, Jonathan, you do look pretty decent. It's always room to improve for bodybuilding. So when people say that, I'll just accept it, because if I say no, then it's like, oh, you think I'm fat? It's like, no, I just think I've got room to improve for me. So yeah, always a work in progress is my kind of thing. Please try and enlarge the video size. It's perfectly fine as it is, thanks. But appreciate your comment. That's from Rick. This will be a good one. At what age will a person start to lose strength if they do not engage in strength training? Good question. I'd say when they become inactive. It's more of a question in regards to your question is, when have they stopped doing stuff which makes them the person that they were yesterday or the week or months or years before? If you've gone from doing 3 workouts a week to 2, there'll be some kind of drop off, probably, for a lot of people. If it's because your joints hurt, there's a drop off, not as much output. You might be recovering better, but you're still not going to be performing at the highest level. So obviously doing 10 sessions a week isn't going to be better than, like, say 4 or 3, but there'll be a slight margin where you can improve a bit more each time. It's not like 10 is worth 10 and 3 is worth 3 out of 10. I'd say if you're trying to scale up, maybe 1 session a week might give you, let's say, 70% of the results, 60%. 2 might give you 80, 90%. 3 might give you 100% or 95%. 4 might give you a tiny bit more. And beyond that, it's just training for the sake of training. I think there's certainly a limitation in terms of diminishing returns for building muscle and retaining strength. If someone becomes ill, they'll have reduced appetite sometimes. So if they can't eat enough protein, they're by default going to have issues with that. So that's kind of my take on it. But yes, it's a really good question. So my answer is basically, when does a person become less effective at doing what they want to do? Apologies, I know it's not a time frame, but anecdotally we can see a lot of people lose strength from the moment they're born, because we're not doing a lot of things. We go from building strength up until maybe the age of young adulthood, then we just get worse. We stop doing active things. We're not hunting animals. We're not going to the gym properly, or wherever it is. I remember Jonathan's star analogy when it comes to rep numbers. That's it. Very clever lady. Glad you remembered that. So he has the video sized for optimal viewing on TV, or watching horizontally on your phone. If you switch over to his horizontal live, the video stream's bigger. Yeah, it's just my face here, guys. You're not getting much extra by having my face 1.5 times bigger, I promise you. Brilliant, Caroline. I'm glad that's helpful. Yeah, continue to ask questions in the chat. I'm probably going to do about 45 minutes today, and then I'm going to pack it in, and hopefully I'll get through all your questions as best as I can. And Grandma's saying hello to Joe. We've got Jackie. Hello. How's it going? If you've got any questions, please leave one below in the chat. Hi, Grandma. I hope you're well and have a lovely weekend. Very sweet. I always get commercials too. Yeah, my channel, I put it on the lower amount of commercials, if that makes sense. simply because I want to be credited for the time that I sit here taking pain medication, so I can sit here. So I actually make a loss every time I do these videos, unless someone sends me like a $10 super chat. But, you know, I'm not complaining. I still enjoy doing this. It's good fun. It's stimulating. It's an outlet, way to self-promote, and people seem to like it. And hopefully people learn a little thing or two they might not have otherwise known. So yeah, yeah, I'm definitely not big on promoting selling stuff. On my channel, if you go to the YouTube channel page, the actual description, title page, whatever it is, I have like 3 affiliate links to products I use from friends that I still would have used anyway. So, you know, Rick, obviously, you know, I'm not a sellout sort of thing. I don't just try to sell crap. We don't need a lot of crap, guys. We love your face, Jonathan. Thank you. Appreciate you taking time off work as well to be here. So, definitely helps. I have noticed all carnivore skin are reddish smooth. Arnold, short sleeve, Dr. Chafee, but steak and butter can not. Well, steak and butter girl is Chinese. Her skin is not red. I don't know. Dr. Chafee doesn't have red skin. He's quite a few shades lighter than me. Same with Dr. Baker. Dr. Baker does, but he came from a background where he might have had elevated blood pressure prior to his carnivory, so that could be it. He's also a very big human being, breathes a lot, so his oxygen demand is probably greater, so that would kind of make sense. Arnold's not remotely a carnivore, never was, ever, at all. Probably ate a lot of steak and eggs back in the day, but he's not a carnivore. Even Ricky is not too much reddish skin. I think it's sun exposure or something. It's probably sun exposure. I get a lot more sun than most carnivores. It's funny. The more carnivores you see on a live stream or video or make videos, the paler they are. Because they're in front of screens all day. Depletes omega-3. Increases rancidity and oxidation of cells within the cell membranes. Sorry, structures in the cell membranes within the skin. More oxidation, more rancidity, more peroxidation, more damage when they do go out in the sun because they've depleted all their natural defense chemicals that are within our skin and sebum to prevent reddening and darkening of the skin. I know what you mean. No money on YouTube except for friendly gifts. That's it, yeah. I've had more through fundraising than YouTube. Probably make about £100 a month for YouTube. I spend a lot more than that on YouTube. George has said, when I stopped aged 40, everything fell apart very quickly. At 60, I'm back and doing things I never thought would be impossible. It's a second chance, and I ain't going to waste it. Damn right. Just think, you found this about 60 now, George. You'll be living to like 90, 100, 110, 120. You've got a long way to go, young nipper. You've got a lot of life to enjoy, I'm sure, with Lainey. But I say nipper, you're like double my age. That'll make you laugh a bit. So it's really hard to click the chat in here. Is there really any benefit to protein powders over eating plenty of meat? If you're having a smaller meal, there'll be more leucine within whey and casein protein powders, which is an amino acid which helps trigger protein synthesis. So in effect, you can take a small amount of protein per gram from protein powders, and it elicits a greater anabolic or muscle building effect. I personally only use them supplementally in my diet because they help me get more in, because I do need more than most people. In a pinch, if you're traveling, they're useful, the average person. People can complain about all the additives and stuff in them and they taste bad. They don't taste bad, guys. That's a myth from about 10 years ago when they did taste bad. Nowadays, it tastes very good, in my opinion. You can add them to other foods. You can add them to soups and broths, maybe. If it's not too hot. Make little mousses and things out of it with gelatin. So yeah, I'd say they're more of a benefit to the carnivore bodybuilder than not. I just make sure that people are taking at least 70% of their nutrients each day, or ideally from animal meat, to being, lamb, beef, chicken, turkey, any poultry, stuff like that, really. I don't think my skin is red either. No, your skin isn't red at all, Rick. I think it's the sun, Rick, you getting too much UVB. I'm not putting people burping on my channel. It's a carnivore bodybuilding chat. Um, hey, meat for life. That's cut. Figured out how to beat my lack of willpower. I ordered locking cabinet for husband. Just get your own separate fridge and freezer or whatever. That's what I have. Yeah, we all need to find a way to get it done. Good day, brother from another mother. How's it going? God, this chat is quite popular today. It says 15 people, but I'm struggling to keep up. I'm trying to literally scroll this tiny little thing. Sorry, it's literally impossible because the thing is too small for scrolling. So I have to. Oh God, that's a bit better. Okay. Good cut. Got more coins from Joe. Minted now. I'll collect all these up at the end of the day and spend it on chewing gum. Husband's junk food, lol, not husband. Yeah, I nearly read that wrong as well. This world about to end soon though. Taiwan is on defense mode. They got a news China might invade them. They will invade them, and it's tough titty. It's been too long. I don't have political stance on that, by the way. It's just going to happen. So, they've been talking about it for so long. With current sort of world events, once other people are doing stuff, it makes it easier for the rest of them to start doing stuff. You know what I mean? Follow the sheep, follow the herd, sort of thing. Joe, I had another failed attempt to get the cat to eat better. I think you'd think some luscious bits of good Sam would to it. Yeah. Rick said, I feel at 58, I feel the same as I did at 20. I still can't believe you're that old. That's nuts. You're so old, Rick. Okay. Yeah, try and avoid swearing in my chat, please, guys. In all contexts. I don't mind if it's on the live stream and it's relevant, but I'm not posting something on the screen. Good day, meathead. How's it going? Let's cut. Rick, 58-year-old here, can't even walk without getting a breath. Yeah, it's a bugger, isn't it? Jackie, it really helps to be in a carnivore household. Yeah, mine are mostly meat-based, I guess. I can't fault that. Makes life a bit easier. Miss Mary loves salmon. I thought your cats would race for salmon. Miss Mary likes chicken breast and prawns. Everyone probably has that beriberi disease, the rice diet, yeah. You've asked this question about 10 times before on my channel, Stephen's channel. It's getting a bit out of. It's getting a bit much now. I'll say this once more. You establish how much you eat each day based on your goals. I do not know your goals. Please book in for a consultation. If you are hungry, you probably need to eat more. If you're not hungry, you probably need to eat a bit less. Where that line changes is when your goals become more difficult to manage. If you try to become very muscular or very lean, you'll find that if you push the ball too far in one direction, your body will fight you back, in which case your appetite will go up. The trick is to find ways in your recovery and your output to increase the fat loss or muscle gain process without having to do extra that takes an impact on recovery, your strength, your way of life, and your goals. That's how you do it. The way you do that is over a structured week by week plan, either with a coach or yourself, which determines what you need to do in terms of increasing or decreasing food, or manipulating other variables along the way. Hello, Patricia. Thank you for joining. Appreciate that. Lovely to see you, Kurt. Hope you're recovering well. Yeah. Very old Rick. Rick, I might be free on Saturday at some point. Maybe. Might have to do one. A live. Please smash the thumbs and show Jonathan some love. Thank you. Cheers, Kurt. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you could hit like, guys. I don't expect people to send me money, but if you can hit like, it takes 4 seconds, literally. So if you're watching on your phone, stop your car, pull over somewhere, hit like, leave a comment below after the stream as well, please. That'd be very helpful. I'm glad to have a lot of chat and questions today as well, so very stimulating. Or less of the old comments. I don't know what out of breath is. I do, and I'm out of breath, and I've been chatting for 35 minutes. Tell you what, guys, I've been in shape now since April. We're in August. I'm quite happy in this sort of body fat level, very lean, but it's the fact I can't just go downstairs and be like, oh, I'm extra hungry today, I'm going to have like 10 eggs. Can't do that. That's the only thing that annoys me at the moment. I was having fun installing a bobcat tire in the room. Excellent. Starting from scratch, chronic pain, fatigue, spinal and cervical, stenosis, arthritis, fibromyalgia, overweight and out of shape. I'll stop calisthenics to go back to lifting. I'd book in a consult just because you have varying sort of issues. Be interesting to know where those issues were. Obviously you have the stenosis, but the arthritis itself. I'd be looking at isometric training first, using calisthenics. A push-up hold in the difficult position, wherever that is for you. Hold it for a minute, 30 seconds, whatever you can do. Move straight on to the next thing, so it might be a wall sit. Google these things. There are easy descriptions online. I don't need to spoon feed anyone. And do maybe a chin-up, a pull-up, an inverted row using a bar of some kind. If you've got a local park or something, just use it. Who cares? Kids don't use them nowadays anyway. They're inside playing Tamagotchis and crayons and stuff. Not crayons, probably Nintendos. Yeah, I'll be looking at isometric training overall with adaptations which might include some bands to increase the resistance profile. Something you can do repeatedly, not every day. You don't get better results from being injured, and fibromyalgia and arthritis and stenosis by training every day. So you've got to have off periods. So 3 times a week, maybe start at 2 times a week, Monday, Thursday. Then next week go on to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. See how it feels. Don't push it too hard. Escalate the intensity over time. Try and push your time to tension metrics. That's how you get stronger. That's going to help with the mitochondrial function of your body up to a point, which will help with fibromyalgia. Morning sunlight is critical. If you're not getting morning sunlight every single day without fail for 20 minutes, consider yourself failed. You've not done enough. That's the easy, free thing to do. That's the thing. You set your timer on your phone or alarm, whatever. You get up, go outside, you stand in the sun, sit in the sun, or put your feet in the grass in the sun. That's it. No sunglasses, nothing like that. If you're not doing that, you're pissing in the wind, to be honest. That seems to be the biggest key when it comes to circadian health. Basically, you absorb, you create more melatonin through the melanocortin cortex within the brain through the UV rays traveling through the retina. They then send a signal to the brain to activate hormones which increase melatonin uptake, which is then released later at night time. That's the science of the matter and how it works. Are you familiar with the work of Jack Kruse? Yes, I've watched all his stuff. He doesn't know it all though. Those CrossFit guys make me laugh, pulling things across the ground and flipping tires. I think CrossFit is a great way to get injured. I think if you don't get injured and find a way to do it safely, it's actually quite clever because you train in a way which is putting your body in different angles Maybe not useful nowadays because we don't do that sort of thing, but in terms of having a holistic approach to training, you're getting fitter, stronger, faster. So it is good, but I don't personally have any clients that do CrossFit. I've got one that does it as like a more like a games kind of thing, like a competition every now and then, but that's it. But none of my clients train in CrossFit. Thank you so much. I'll continue to listen, but I need to get back to work. Of course, no worries, Julia. We've got Lainey in the chat. Thank you very much for joining, Lainey. Appreciate being here. If you got any questions, please ask. Anything related to nutrition, anything related to health, I might be able to answer. Anything related to exercise, recovery, sleep, biohacks, whatever. I'm going to be ending the stream in about 4 or 5 minutes, unless a load of questions come through. Joe's giving me a shout out here, so I appreciate that, Joe. But hi, Jackie. I also suffer fibromyalgia and have mobility issues. Jonathan's coaching really helped me. I also do push-ups and planks leaning on my bed or desk work instead of down on the floor. Yeah, you just got to find something which is more than what you're doing before, Joe. So that's great work. I live with chronic fatigue syndrome. Joe personally know on a very individual level how much I suffer with it. It's not just I'm tired. It means struggling. Some days I'm struggling to lie there and just breathe. Not because I can't breathe, but because everything I do is so tiring. So I can relate to anyone in any disease state, probably, especially when it comes to fibro, chronic fatigue, pain, joint pain. Yeah, definitely be happy to help if you book in for a consultation through the link on the screen, which will be down here. It says carnivore-muscle.com, and in my channel description, it'll also have links there to consultation pages, etc. I'm saying good day. This is a good one. Rick, I spent several days cutting up a car. I thought that said I sprint several days. I'm like, oh, you've gone all Dr. Sean O'Mara now, have you? Like, I know you do like the fermented foods as well, but yeah. And I've started some Savage Hill climbs again. I'm having to focus on breath work. A great friend DC keeps jumping into my head. He is my go-to for things breath related. Top human. Absolutely, could not agree more. Do check him out if anyone's wondering. So Purple Coconut 65 is George. George is referring to someone called DC. The channel name is on YouTube DC Rebuilding. He's a stage 4 cancer survivor. I think he's about 54 years old. He looks like 2 years older than me, and I'm 31. He's doing a good job. So he's been through all that, and he's still in a good nick. Much respect to DC for sure. Same here, George. DC helped me with my breathing when I got panicked. Excellent. Thank you, Jonathan and Joe. Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, if you go through my playlists on my channel, guys, you'll find some useful stuff on there. You just got to look. It's all on there. 900 videos worth of content. And most of them aren't just live streams of me just chatting with people. It's me putting out information. So yeah, you'll find a lot on there if you look. DC's an angel sent us all in somewhere. Yeah. It's funny that he lives so far away, though, isn't it? It's like entity. It's like almost not real, but he is real, but he's not. You know, very grateful. Love your new profile pic, Lainey. Stunning. Let's have a look. Can't make it any bigger, but yeah, it looks nice. I think it's a turquoise dress, maybe. I can't tell. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks very much for joining. Remember, if you join as a channel member, there'll be some very exclusive perks coming up and already. Joining as a subscriber as well. Well, you have access to the first ever carnivore channel documentary ever made on my channel. So you can find that as well through my channel. So look for that one. Other than that, thanks very much for joining. I'll take care, and I'll see you guys next.